The headlines scream from news feeds across the globe, each one a drumbeat closer to conflict. Chinese warships encircle Philippine outpost at 2nd Thomas Shoal. Taiwan scrambles jets as PLA fighters breach median line. U.S. carrier strike group steams toward Luzon Strait in show of force. These are not hypothetical scenarios. They are the stark realities of today, November 27, 2025. The Indo-Pacific, once defined by economic dynamism, now holds its breath. Every maneuver is a message, every patrol a provocation. This is a standoff unlike any in decades, a multi-layered chess game played with destroyers, submarines, and fighter jets. At the heart, an assertive China enforcing its expansive claims, and a US-led network pushing back to preserve a free and open order. The risk of miscalculation has never been higher. A single stray shot could ignite a regional fire. In Manila, President Marcos Jr. convenes an emergency session. In Taipei, President Lai Ching-te works diplomatic back channels. In Washington, the Situation Room buzzes with urgency. This is not just a dispute over reefs, it's a direct challenge to the post-World War II security architecture. Fishermen now look to the horizon with apprehension, spotting foreign Coast Guard vessels where they once saw only open water. The global economy feels the tremors. Supply chains reroute, insurance premiums soar. The question is no longer if the breaking point will be reached, but when. China's rise is no longer abstract. It's a tangible, perilous shift. Beijing's strategy has evolved from incremental salami slicing to overt intimidation. Chinese Coast Guard vessels now use water cannons and dangerous maneuvers against Philippine boats with alarming regularity. The old rules of engagement are gone. Gray zone operations are the new normal. Nations like the Philippines and Taiwan face an impossible choice: cede rights or risk confrontation. The era of passive observation is over. Alliances are becoming operational. The US has increased joint patrols and exercises, while Japan and Australia now participate in Philippine waters. The region is polarizing, forced to choose sides as Beijing's intentions toward Taiwan become unmistakable. Daily PLA incursions into Taiwan's airspace are now rehearsals for invasion. The result: a single, interconnected theater of operations, where actions in one strait impact the security of the other. Into this volatile mix, Taiwan has thrown a geopolitical thunderbolt. Taipei has publicly proposed to help fund the modernization of Philippine military bases under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement with the US. This is a radical departure from Taiwan's traditional defensive posture, a move born of existential necessity. For decades, Taiwan received security assistance. Now, it offers it. The logic: by investing in Philippine defenses, Taiwan extends its own strategic depth and complicates any Chinese invasion plan. This is not about offense, but building a defensive bulwark, a porcupine strategy beyond Taiwan's shores. The goal: deter aggression by raising the costs for Beijing. This marks a pivot from passive defense to active, collaborative deterrence. Taiwan signals it is not just a victim in waiting, but a capable, willing security partner. This move transforms the regional dynamic, moving beyond the US-centric alliance system. It creates a resilient network of interlocking partnerships with regional democracies taking the lead. The Taipei Gambit has changed the game. To grasp Taiwan's pivot, look back to Israel's Yom Kippur War in 1973, a shock that forced a shift from reactive to proactive defense. Taiwan now faces its own Yom Kippur moment under relentless Chinese pressure. The old strategy of hoping for the best is no longer tenable. Deterrence must be active, dynamic, and collaborative. Funding Philippine bases is the first visible step in Taiwan's new doctrine: proactive defense beyond its shores. Like Israel, Taiwan seeks strategic depth and self-reliance within alliances. The US remains the ultimate backstop, but Taiwan is taking its security into its own hands. It's a shift from security consumer to provider. Most importantly, it's a psychological transformation, an act of agency, not just survival. Taiwan now asserts itself as a permanent, influential Indo-Pacific actor. Under pressure, a more pragmatic, daring, and determined Taiwan is emerging. Taiwan's proposal is enabled by a subtle but significant shift in US policy and law. The One China policy once restricted direct military cooperation, but new US legislation is changing that. The National Defense Authorization Act and the Taiwan Enhanced Resilience Act now encourage security cooperation among Indo-Pacific partners. These funds are flexible. Taiwan can invest in its own defense industry and, crucially, support like-minded partners. This creates a mechanism for US-appropriated funds to be channeled by Taiwan into regional security projects. The Philippines can accept assistance as part of its U.S. alliance. Taiwan positions itself as a responsible regional stakeholder. For the U.S., it strengthens a frontline ally without direct funding for every project. This legal framework creates a trilateral model: Taiwan, the Philippines, and the U.S., operating just below a formal alliance. Taiwan leverages its economic strength for strategic gain. The U.S. acts as enabler and guarantor, building a more integrated regional defense. It's a quiet revolution, empowering partners to build a web of deterrence more complex than any bilateral alliance. The result: a stronger, more resilient Indo-Pacific security network. The northern Philippine bases are not just dots on a map, they are crucial geopolitical anchors. Taiwan's proposed support focuses on Cagayan and Batanes, forming the southern edge of the Luzon Strait, a vital maritime choke point. For China, control of this strait is essential for projecting power. For Taiwan, keeping it open is survival. Bases on Batanes and at Camilo Osius in Cagayan sit astride this lifeline, able to monitor and, if needed, interdict traffic. Upgraded with radar, missiles, and runways, these bases become formidable defensive nodes. They act as the southern pincer in Taiwan's defense, complementing U.S. assets to the north and east. In a crisis, the PLA would need the Luzon Strait to encircle Taiwan. Modernized Philippine bases disrupt that plan. This creates a contested environment, forcing China to second-guess its strategy. Taiwan's investment is forward defense, pushing the battle space away from its own shores. For the Philippines, it means defending its territory and asserting control over its northernmost islands. Strengthening one nation's defense directly enhances the other's security. This trilateral cooperation is a direct response to years of Chinese aggression. Beijing's militarization of the Spratlys and harassment at sea have forced the region's hand. The Philippines has faced water cannons and lasers. Taiwan, near daily PLA incursions. The trilateral shield signals to Beijing aggression is driving its neighbors together. The U.S. provides the security guarantee and technology. The Philippines, the strategic geography. Taiwan, resources and expertise. Together, they form a layered, resilient defense network. Intelligence and radar data can be shared, and joint exercises ensure seamless crisis response. This operational integration is the core of the new deterrence strategy. It counters China's divide-and-conquer approach. The shield is forged in the face of aggression. The message: unity is the region's best defense. Taiwan's funding brings economic and social benefits, not just military ones. For the Philippines, Taiwanese investment in northern provinces means jobs, infrastructure, and sustainable growth. Economic cooperation can expand. Taiwanese firms may invest in energy, telecom, and agriculture. This diversifies the Philippines' economy and strengthens its resilience. For Taiwan, it's strategic diplomacy, showcasing its soft power and building goodwill. Taiwan offers a partnership based on mutual respect, not coercion. Enhanced security attracts more investment, creating a virtuous cycle of prosperity and defense. By intertwining economies and security, both nations make a long-term bet on each other. Democratic partners can create a future that is both secure and prosperous. This move will provoke a furious reaction from Beijing: diplomatic threats, economic coercion, and military intimidation. But the architects of this strategy argue the risks of inaction are greater. Years of engagement with China have only emboldened its aggression. The risk of provocation is now a necessary price to avoid subjugation. Taiwan and the Philippines are shifting from risk aversion to risk management, building the partnerships they need to survive. They bet that collective strength, backed by the U.S., will deter direct Chinese action. This is a high-stakes move, but essential for sovereignty. A new security order is being forged by frontline states, not just Washington. This partnership could become a blueprint for future regional cooperation. The coming days will be tense, but this may be the moment the tide begins to turn.